The sprawling metal towers of Vanguard Academy glinted under the pale light of the twin suns. This was no ordinary military school. On this planet, nicknamed Deathworld for its lethal wildlife, extreme weather, and poisonous atmosphere, only the toughest could survive, and even fewer could thrive. Inside the central training hall, rows of cadets from all over the galaxy stood at attention. Humans, known for their reckless bravery and unpredictable strategies, were there too. They were lean, wiry, and scarred in ways that told stories of survival before they even stepped into the academy. The other species watched them with a mix of curiosity and fear. Today, you will face a war simulation designed to test every strategic limit imaginable, said Admiral Tyran, a towering reptilian alien with scales that shimmered like bronze. His voice echoed through the hall. A 10-year galactic war compressed into an hour of training. Only the brightest minds will survive. He smirked at the human cadets. Though I doubt you will. The humans didn't flinch. One of them, Cadet Lyra, leaned slightly on her staff, her eyes sharp and alert. Beside her, Jax, the burliest human in the squad, cracked a small grin. They had survived storms that could peel flesh from bone, beasts that could crush a human in a single blow, and tests that would have broken even the most intelligent alien cadets. A simulated war? This was nothing. The training hall transformed. Holographic stars and planets materialized around them. Vast fleets and armies appearing in miniature on glowing tables. The simulation was alive. Ships blinked into existence in orbit. Fleets mobilized and planetary defenses glowed under the artificial suns. Simulation begins in 5, 4, 3. The countdown ticked in deep metallic tones. When it hit 0, the scenario exploded into action. Waves of enemy fleets, programmed with centuries of tactical knowledge, surged across the holographic galaxy. Enemy armies marched across virtual planets, cutting through defenses with precision. The other cadets gasped as entire planets seemed lost in seconds. The humans, however, were calm. Divide and flank. Lyra ordered softly. Jax, take the outer fleets. I'll handle the inner lines. Everyone else, watch the supply chains. The alien instructors raised their claws and hissed. Preposterous. No strategy allows victory in 1 hour. The humans ignored them. They moved with instinctive coordination. Like predators who knew each other's thoughts before the thought even existed, Jax's squad darted through the gaps in the enemy formations, appearing behind enemy lines where the alien tacticians had assumed no ship could reach in time. Lyra's team manipulated the diplomacy protocols, turning simulated allies to their side faster than the program could adapt. Admiral Tyran's eyes narrowed. Impossible. This defies every logical algorithm. Meanwhile, the human cadets pressed forward. Their actions were chaotic by alien standards but effective. Planets thought lost were reclaimed in a flurry of surprise attacks and clever subterfuge. Supply lines that were supposed to last years collapsed within minutes. Entire fleets surrendered at once, not out of fear, but because they had no choice. The humans had cut every escape route. Focus on their communications, Lyra said. Her hands moved over the controls, rerouting signals, intercepting enemy commands, and broadcasting misinformation. The enemy forces turned on each other, not realizing the humans had orchestrated every move. The other species cadets stared, wide-eyed. How are they doing this? Whispered a blue-skinned alien. The program is unbeatable. Jax laughed, the sound booming and confident. Unbeatable doesn't mean invincible. Time ticked on and the war scenario began collapsing under the humans' improvisation. Simulated years of conflict ended in minutes. Entire alliances were formed or dissolved. Entire fleets were neutralized. And planets surrendered. All because humans refused to follow logic that limited creativity and boldness. Admiral Tyran's claws twitched. This cannot be real. There must be a flaw. There's no flaw, Lyra said, her voice calm. You just didn't account for humans. Finally, the timer hit the 1-hour mark. The simulation ended. The holographic galaxy stabilized, revealing a single truth. The humans had won. Completely. The 10-year war, which should have ended in decades of bloodshed, had been resolved in less than 60 minutes. Silence filled the hall. The alien cadets stared in disbelief. Some sank to their knees, overwhelmed by the realization that their perfect simulation had been destroyed. Others whispered urgently to their instructors, seeking explanations that didn't exist. Admiral Tyran's eyes burned with fury and awe. Impossible, he muttered. They defied everything we know about strategy. Jax leaned back, smirking. Everything you know, maybe. But humans. He paused for effect, gesturing to the squad. Humans adapt. Lyra glanced around at the other cadets. Logic is fine, she said, but creativity, courage, and boldness, those win wars. The aliens had underestimated humans for centuries. They had assumed predictability, fear, and reliance on logic. What they didn't understand was that humans thrived in chaos, learned from danger, and could turn desperation into opportunity. Every planet, every fleet, every resource in the simulation had been a puzzle, and the humans solved it with a combination of instinct, intuition, and sheer guts. As the cadets walked out of the simulation chamber, sweat-streaked but triumphant whispers followed them. Across the academy, cadets from other species muttered stories of what had just happened. Some were frightened, some were inspired, but all had seen the truth. Underestimate humans at your own peril. Outside, the twin suns of Deathworld hung low in the sky. The harsh wind carried the scent of molten rock and strange alien flora, but the humans barely noticed. They were already planning, already strategizing for the next challenge. Survival, victory, and brilliance were second nature to them. Somewhere in the galaxy, word would spread. Word that humans, bred on the deadliest planets, trained in the harshest conditions and tempered in relentless danger, had defeated a war scenario in less than an hour. A war that was supposed to last a decade. Jax clapped Lyra on the shoulder. Think they'll let us try the 2-decade simulation next? He asked with a grin. Lyra chuckled. Let them try. We'll finish it before lunch. And for the first time, the galaxy's strategists realized that humans were not just a species. They were a force of nature, unpredictable, fearless, unstoppable. The cadets disappeared into the academy corridors, already discussing the next challenge, already preparing to prove once again that no simulation, no enemy, no impossible scenario could contain them. The story ends with the humans walking away from the simulation deck, joking, confident, and unstoppable. The galaxy's future quietly trembling under the realization that Deathworlder cadets were a force unlike any other.